Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about how to use Primobolan the right way. Uh, Obviously, there's no, quote, wrong way to use it. You could do a 1-to-1 ratio with Primobolan testosterone as just the cycle in itself. Say 300 tests, 300 Primo, and that's fine, or 500 tests, 500 Primo. But there's a way that you can use it more tactically, which I think is the ideal way to use it, because my own personal belief on this is there are better compounds out there to get more desired results when it comes to strength and even aesthetics than Primobolan alone. Although, not saying it can't be done, but I just feel like it's good for maybe guys who just want like that lean gains, and you do get solid gains. It's kind of a slow burner, so it takes a while to do. But I just think Masteron's superior, has superior quality characteristics, and then you add another type of compound like nandrolone or EQ, and I think it's better than Primobolan. And I also should say that in some cases I've heard that Primobolan it acts like an AI, so you might crush your estrogen a little bit too much. In which case, if you're running something like HGH, then that's not going to be good, because you want that estrogen there in the IGF conversion to promote growth at tissue sites and proliferation. That's a whole nother side video. I want to get into how to use Primobolan. Actually, you can use it you can use it strategically. So say you're running, this is because I'm planning to potentially do this myself. Say you're running, I'll give the example I'm doing, test, Masteron, and NPP, okay? And I run it for 2 months, say. And it's good, making solid gains and everything else, okay? Now, what I could do is increase my test dose, right? And if I want to titrate it up a notch, bump it up a notch. But then I run the risk of the androgenic effects, or potentially gynecomastia, or the negative side effects that come downstream from too much testosterone. Estrogen is primarily too much estrogen, right? This is going to be one of the major issues you run into. And I'll go right into nandrolone, and that could be one of the major issues if you bump up nandrolone too much. It's going to increase the probability of things like gynecomastia, but then also there's anxiety effects and a whole list of other effects that go alongside with nandrolone. So, it's not a good idea to necessarily bump that up, although, to be honest, I might do that a little bit. I might bump it up a little bit. And then there's Masteron. So, adding too much Masteron, it's just not going to be necessarily desirable either, because it might dry you out too much, right? You just don't want too much of that Masteron effect, right? But a little bit of Masteron, is okay, 1-to-1 ratio with test, but it's not like then you're going to bump it up another 200-300 milligrams, and it's going to way surpass what the test you're doing, right? So this is where adding, you want to bump it up though somehow, right? Your whole stack. So before, what I used to do is then add Anavar, but that's great only for a 6-week period of time. If you want to run and continue your cycle for another few months, I'm only on month 2, I'm probably going to get another at least 2 months out of this cycle. Then adding Primobolan is the strategic way to do it, because it's very clean. It's a very clean drug. I'm sure all you guys know that has very low side effect profile. But it actually does a pretty good job at building physique and strength. It has anabolic properties, right? So adding 200-300 Primobolan on top of this stack might actually be a good idea, without then at least risk running into other side effects. The one thing it could do is increase blood pressure a little bit, but I'll obviously monitor that. But it could be a really good way to increase the effectiveness of your stack, and have a potentially better synergistic effect, especially if you do bump up your test a little bit as well, then that added AI effect might actually come in handy, if that makes sense. What are your guys' thoughts about that? This is something that I don't normally hear guys talk about. I hear a lot of guys, they're like, it's either you run Masteron or you run Anavar, right? And I hear a lot of guys just saying like how the stack you should stick to for your overall blast cycle. It's not, I really don't hear, unless you're like a pro bodybuilder, that I don't really hear much of guys like changing their stack, changing the compounds in their stack throughout their cycle. I know like when people are getting stage ready for competitions and such, as like maybe 2 weeks out, they'll add maybe something like Winstrol or something. I don't know. I'm not a stage bodybuilder, but I've heard of them talk about that. So potentially halfway through your cycle, you could kind of shift gears, and adding Primobolan might be one of the best options if you want to stay on the safer route of things. Now I'll go back to adding Anavar, but again, that's something I would recommend doing at the last 6 weeks of your cycle, and that's something I still might do last 6 weeks. Add about 20 milligrams to 40 milligrams of Anavar, and that has really great effects, but as well, it comes at the increase of side effects. It can crush your HDL, cause more blood pressure. It's more of a stimulant effect than Anavar, which like it doesn't even feel like you're really on anything, but except when you see the gains. Now, my only concern is 2 months isn't enough time for the Primobolan to build up and really take effect to its full potential, but I think it is still enough time where within that last month, it's all going to just come together, and that last month is where the real solid gains are going to be happening. It's all leading up to that, right? And I already know I'm in month 2, just finishing month 2 of this blast, and all the gains are just coming together. Everything's just coming together right now. The strength, the size. I looked at myself in the mirror. Believe it or not, I'm losing. This is one of the first times I'm losing weight while at the same time gaining size. Because I believe the Masteron's drying me out, but as well the MPP and the test and everything is putting on size. So it's a beautiful recomp stack. The test Masteron with a little bit of NPP, you get the strength, you get some size, you get fullness, but I'm losing weight at the same time. I'm like getting shrink wrapped a bit. So that's why typically Masteron, particularly Masteron Propionate, which I'm using, is used for the contest prep. So, but adding that Primobolan, I think it'll increase the effect of, it won't increase bloating, that's for sure, but it'll increase full muscle fullness, which will be really great. So that's where I'm at with this video. Again, how to kind of tactically use Primobolan. I'll go right back to what I was stating initially, which is if you want to use Primobolan as a primary compound, like just test Primobolan, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's still a very great thing. But in my personal experience, because I've ran that and I've ran other things, I prefer what I'm on now quite a lot more than just running Primobolan. Although it might be something I'll fall back to again, try in the future. I'll just be honest. I mentioned this in my other video. When I was running tests in Primobolan, it almost like affected my sexuality negatively. I think where there was times where it was just like unable to finish. Like it was really hard to orgasm essentially. And with Masteron, it's the complete opposite. I'm on fire when it's sexually. So, and I like that effect. I like that. I'll be honest with you guys. I like that effect of steroids, like of the sexuality effect, having a wife and such, like being a sexually active guy. It's great. So anyway, that's what I want to focus on this video with. It could be used with other stacks, but again, the test Masteron NPP stack, run that for 2 months, and then incorporate Primobolan at like even just 200, just for that extra cumulative anabolic effect, maybe 300, depending what your tolerance is. Then might be a great idea. So leave in the comments section below what your thoughts are on this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.